Hi, my name is Simone and I'm a Zen Mommy. Thank you for watching. I wanted to do a video on why do people do bad things. And I'm sorry if I'm out of breath. I'm 30 weeks pregnant and man, I think the baby squeezes your lungs or something, so you get like shortness of breath. And so I'm gonna do the best I can. I made a couple of videos right before this because I'm kind of out of breath already. But let's get to the topic. Did I say the topic yet? Well, if not, let's say it again. Why do people do bad things? Okay, so I want to address this topic because a lot of people wonder that on this journey. You know, especially people who, you know, they're what they would call a higher vibration or a good person, a person that, you know, that doesn't want to hurt other people, which is, you know, most starseeds in this reality, and people on this spiritual journey, on the religious journey or whatever, and religious journey leaving the spiritual journey, they wonder, and I shouldn't even say the religious journey because half the people who do bad things are in religion. So, but, you know, I'm talking about people who, like, the good people that are in religion that don't realize where they are. And the people who are destined to shift to spirituality, people who are in the transition of shifting to spirituality. I just said all that for nothing. Not for nothing, but I think I've been making videos too long today. All right, let me get back to it. Okay, so we're in a reality right now where a lot of things are being exposed. A lot of people are waking up. And one of the things when you wake up is you wonder, why does evil exist? Why does bad people exist? So I recently did a video on my Getting Out of Religion series called, In Religion, the Ego Manifests as the Devil. And so, okay, I was saying to say is a lot of people refer to these acts as devil or demonic or influenced by this entity called the devil. And you should watch that video because, you know, I explain a lot about the ego and how it manifests as the devil. And oh, I'm so sorry. I'm kind of out of it today. Anyways, okay, so the reason I wanted to say that is because I know that this is looked at as like a devil thing, that these people are bad. And so when I say people, let's just say people who do, like, the prisons are full of people who did really evil things. And things in this reality, sometimes you'll hear things and you think, could it get any worse than that? Then you'll hear something worse. And it's really surprising how bad things can be, how some people could hurt and torture people, how some people could have no heart at all. And, you know, we hear wondering like, oh, you know, like a person who is a starseed, and you don't have to be a starseed to be just a good person in general, but you're just a good person with a good heart. You know, some of us, this is just our route. This is the path we chose. And when we see that, it's easy for us to look down on them and to be like, oh, that is a horrible person. How could he do that? Or how could she do that, right? And what I want to say is, why do they do that? Okay, so that's what this topic is about. Oh, I'm very tempted to delete this video and start all over. Okay, I'm going to keep trying though. Okay, so why do people do that? Okay, so on this journey, on my channel, you know, we've covered this. We are creator gods. We're all creators of our reality. I'm a god, you're a god, the bad people are gods, the good people are gods. The NPCs are gods, the earth is God, the trees are God, the plants is God. So we're all God, right? And we are God having a human experience, a very complex human experience, right? multiple humans, a whole world, a whole atmosphere, a whole universe, a whole solar system, planets, animals, okay? So in this experience that we're in, duality exists, okay? So that was one of the things we created. We agreed to be created. That we wanted to have experience with duality. What is it like to have the opposite of what we are, okay? This is an experience. Now I mentioned how this is a game. And I mentioned how video games echo our reality. So, and I've said this before on my channel, okay? I play video games, right? There's two games that I played. Star Wars of the Old Republic and World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, there are two factions, okay? There's the Alliance. And they're the knights in shining armor, human or elf races, whatever. But they fight, for the good or whatever. Then there's a Horde Alliance, right? And the Horde are like trolls, undead creatures, blood elves, taurens, orcs. And they're all like the darker side, like the bad guys, so to speak. Same thing in Star Wars Old Republic. Their bad guys were the Siths, right? And why can't I remember the good guys of Star Wars and Old Republic right now? Jedis, okay. So let me refer to this game because this is a good example. So in Star Wars and the Old Republic, I chose a Sith character, okay? And I just wanted to experience, first of all, I liked the way they looked better, yeah. And I wanted to experience what it was like to be a bad guy. So I began to play this Sith character, right? First of all, they turned out to have a life quite like, the Jedi life, You gotta survive, you gotta make money, you gotta do quests, you gotta travel, right? But when the storyline begins to advance, you start getting faced with situations and decisions, okay? So in this game, decisions will pop up and you can choose certain answers. One answer could lead, so you had this scale, right, of how evil you could go or how good you could go, or you could be neutral. And some people want to experience being completely evil. And some people want to experience being just in the middle. And some people want to experience being good, even as a Sith, right? And so, as a Sith, this is the first game that I actually chose to play a bad guy. And I was just like, I'm going to experience being bad. I told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna play this out, And so I started noticing I kept choosing things that leaned away from the more negative things. And I said, and I saw my rank was going down from being evil. And so I said, okay, no matter what, I gotta make the bad choices, right? And so I was on this quest where this woman was helping me solve this. She was giving me the answers and she was walking me through what was going on. And it's like for a minute she was on my journey with me, helping me. And then I get to the leader, and the leader says that in order to prove my loyalty, I had to kill this woman. And I told my husband, I can't do it. She's been helping me. This is how involved I'm in the game. So when you play these games, right, you get really involved. You get really into it, okay? And it's kind of like us being souls having a human experience. As from a higher self perspective, we know that this character is getting really into it, right? They're finding their passions, what they like, what they desire. A lot of this is tweaked and programmed before we come in here. So I tweaked and programmed that I was going to be a Sith ahead of time, that I was going to be a bad guy, ahead of time. Creator God perspective, okay? I may come in and say, I'm going to be a bad guy in this human experience. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a criminal. I'm going to play the criminal out to the end, right? And some people, they go on to be higher levels and worse type of bad guys, right? So in the game, I was just like, My husband was like, yeah, it does get bad. I was sick to my stomach at the thought of having to kill this NPC that helped me. But I was trying to get my goal still to be at the end of, to raise my level of evilness. And so I did it. And I hated doing it. I hated doing it. But I did it, right? So what I'm trying to say is this is a game. This is an illusion. This is an experience. This human reality, like the game I just played, the human reality is a very realistic feeling version of that. This is not our true existence. We are souls having experience, a human experience. We're infinite souls, creator gods, and I will not stop telling you guys this. And so when you start to wonder, why do people do bad things? Please know that you're in your human aspect when you think that, okay? If you want to really understand why, step up out of the human skin for a minute and realize you're a creator God, and so is the person doing bad. And they have tweaked their game ahead of time that they're going to be, bad. And naturally, their urges and desires to do those bad things are basically wired in their programming, okay? And when they come out of this, when we log out of the game, out of this human experience, you're going to see the evil person, and you may laugh about it. You may say, I cannot believe you did that, and then you guys will laugh. But you won't be mad at them, and you won't judge them because they were playing a game. Just like, let's say my husband was playing a Jedi, and I was playing a Sith. And we had to fight, and I had to kill him, right? And when we log out of the game, my husband's not mad at me for killing his character. I'm not mad at him if he kills my character because it's just a game. The game was an illusion. So when these people who do bad things, you got to get into a place of non-judgment. Yeah, it looks bad, right? Okay, like some of these things is heinous, like straight out heinous. But that's me judging it too, okay? So you have to be able to, another thing, you have to also understand what you're witnessing in your reality that exists around you, that everything that you witness, perceive, and experience is something you are creating, okay? See, as a creator God, you can create and perceive at the same time, okay? You're cut off from like the universal, the part of you that's actually creating. In order to have experience, you have to feel like you're not creating. You kind of have to feel like it's just happening. But your frequency tells you everything that you're seeing, that you're manifesting. So I'm in a reality where I'm seeing a lot of heinous things. Sorry, my son was in the back screaming. Okay, so where was I at? So you're matching the frequency of what's going on, what you're seeing, okay? So you see a human you see a human conducting a bad act, okay? Or an evil act of some sort. And you hear about things like, things I've been hearing about, I mentioned in the previous video, I have been hearing a lot about trafficking, I've been hearing a lot about people robbing people, shooting people, so you hear all these things, right? Number one, your frequencies, what you've been giving your attention to as a creator God, you're going to manifest yourself in a timeline where you're going to experience more of that. But remember, your reality is also creating for you. Now let's take the bad guy, for instance, you see creating a crime, right? He's manifesting your reality as a bad guy creating a crime. But also remember, he is a God, okay? But in his reality, he may be having a different experience. He is not connected to the version of him that you see. And maybe maybe in his experience he is doing something like that, right? But in his personal experience, you have to understand he's creating his reality. And he's on he could very well be on another timeline, and it could mean something else. So to sit here and to judge these bad guys is a game. Okay, it's a game, right? And sitting here, you can sit all day and start judging. Oh my God, I can't hate people. I don't like people who steal my mail. I don't like people who, and I know that I didn't say you have to like them, but to get overly emotional and get your energy involved in a feeling that upsets your vibration, I guess I should say, will have you it'll have you on that frequency. So the best approach to take is an approach of non-judgment. Sorry, this is definitely my last video today because my son is making so much noise. Okay. So, and it's hot. For some reason the AC doesn't work in this room, which sucks. So you want to approach it from a place of non-judgment, because the judgment in itself involves you with the timeline, like the sheer disgust of the matter, feeling upset. That's an emotional, frequency, which, your feelings is, we don't manifest just with I want this to be, I want to see a better world with good people. But if you're in the frequency of feeling like you can want one thing, and the universe responds to our feelings, because we're creator God, so we're actually creating this. So it would be our feelings that will push forward everything, that would create things. And so you start feeling negatively about these people, and this is something I kind of manifested in my reality recently. I have been feeling negative about child traffickers, because apparently that's a big thing. That's a big thing in this state. And now I'm to the point where being a mother, having a child on the way, hearing about these things, I can't help but it upsets me, right? But because I have let it upset me, I keep hearing more stories. Recently I heard 2 kids was snatched at a Chuck E. Cheese type of place. People in the neighborhood are like, don't take your kids here. Somebody grabbed 2 kids and mine got snatched, and I tried to pull my kid back. And it's that's a little too close for home for me. But I also know that I've been looking at these articles, and I've always been careful about the news, but I thought I reached a point in my consciousness that sometimes I would check just to see, where I am on my timeline, because as your timeline shifts, the reality shifts around you. And I kind of got stuck, I guess, looking at some of those things, to the point where I'm manifesting experiences, not my experience, but I'm manifesting people sharing experiences of experiencing some type of, bad event or trafficking. So now I'm in a place where I'm no, this can't, I don't want to keep seeing this in my reality. Because the more I sit here and worry about, this is not a safe place for children, life is not safe, earth is horrible, then I'm not going to see a safe reality for my children if I keep thinking like that, And the whole point of this is realizing that you're the creator God of your reality. And those people are the creator God of their reality. And whatever else doing, just like I chose the Sith, they want to play the bad guys, you don't have to actually merge timelines. You don't actually have to cross timelines with them, right? Because if you keep your timeline from a non-judgment point of view, a non-resistance point of view, of focusing on the positive and the high frequency things you see around you, the more you have your feelings really enjoy the good that you see, the more those things will come into your reality. Opposed to getting like I did for a while, getting real negative about these things, I start to see it more and more. And now I'm to the point where I gotta get out of this. I gotta manifest better, And that's the thing about this journey is we have to constantly check our thoughts and our feelings. We have to see where we are, as far as creating. And it doesn't, I'm not talking about just creating for your life, for your business, income, for your family, or artwork or something. I'm talking about your creation is not just the home you live in or your job or your hobbies or whatever. Your creation is also the world you're in, okay? The state of the world you're in, the state of your neighborhood, the state of your local grocery stores, the state of your economy, the state of your, of governments, whatever. And you don't even have to be involved with all that if you're not all focused on it, right? And, that's one of the one of my big challenges right now is, I've been managing creating what I want, I'm creating my family I wanted. I created my soulmate, found my soulmate. We're having our family we wanted. We have our son, our daughter. I created my business. I wanted this healing room for a long time. We wanted a house. We manifested that. So we're doing that, but we also need to make the shift to create the world we want to see, okay? A better world. The world that we want to see, higher vibrational world. We want to see more positive news, more positive things. We want to see people be kind to people. We want to see people raise their consciousness. Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, but it starts with you. It starts within. It starts with what you're feeling and what you're connected to. And so I hope this video helps. So, as far as why do people do bad things, you just got to remember that this is a game. This life is an illusion. We're all souls having a human experience. Some souls play the dark side, play the other side, and some souls play this side. Some souls stay neutral in the middle. Whatever game you play, to you, it's a beautiful experience. Because after this, I know some of the things seem harsh, but you, as a God, you're very detached, like from the creation, like that. Like, you're detached, you don't have emotional detachment to what, this person decided to experience this, right? You know that no matter what, wow, that God is creating an amazing experience, that for them, and I know it's sometimes kind of hard to wrap your mind around, but you'll definitely understand this more outside of the game. I tell you that for sure. I just know that for me, I got to focus on what I'm creating, and I do got to focus on my judgment of others, because judgment, we don't have judgment. That's what I mean by like being a God would be detached from, those lower things. Because, first of all, high frequency like that, most high frequency beings that are outside of this game, they can't connect to these lower frequencies because they're like outside of the realm of this frequency. And they can understand love and the connection, to you or whatever, but they can't understand your pain, or the suffering. So like they would get blocked from truly connecting to you if you're holding on to pain and suffering and all that. Now people who connecting like that are connecting with 4D entities, and 4D entities are part of the game of the 4D realm. And yeah, they can connect you with pain and suffering. They may feed off your pain and suffering. They may feed off your joy, depending on what kind of 4D entity it is. And so I'm going to end now. I'm so tired, but I want to get back and make some videos. Thank you guys for joining me today. Don't forget to join my email list my channel email list if you haven't joined. I have a website now and a spiritual community. I have a few people in it, and please join if you want to connect to other souls that are like-minded, that are other creators. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day.